so expensive. Everybody's like, oh, but why you care? You rich, this and that. I don't think people really understand. Like, look.
Now, fast forward to now in this freaking economy, I'm about to split a McDouble in 2 to 3 pieces, parts, and then split the fries straight down the middle.
And I opened my phone, logged in, and canceled Peacock. I'm going home, and I'm also going to cancel Spotify and Hulu, because you can't do it from your phone. You can only do it from a desktop computer. So, see you later, apps. I'm so over it.
Oh man, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody doing all right, and welcome back to season 2 of Cute Reacts. Last episode, we were talking about why the Americans feel like the American dream is further than ever. You got full-time families, working full-time jobs, and still struggling, can barely stay afloat. I think I seen a 21-year-old, 3 jobs. Insane. Crazy, right? No matter where I would look, comments, emails, people would be saying the same thing over and over again. I never thought this would be me. I never thought I'd be struggling. Is this middle? Is this middle class? Middle class normally is all right. I make more money now than ever, and I'm still struggling. It had me thinking, are we watching the death, the extinction of the middle class? Because let's be for real, the middle is what holds the high and the low. So without further ado, let's get into these clips, and let's see why the Americans feel like the American dream is just out of reach. Oh, and another thing, we're not here to judge. We're just here to observe and connect.
Everybody using Duracell batteries?
You kidding? The second I heard you can't buy a longer-lasting battery, I bought the family a whole case.
Reminds me of the first time we tried Duracell batteries. We were living in Tulsa with your great Aunt Emma. We shared a one-room apartment. Herb, did you slip her one of those other kinds of batteries?
Me?
You can't top the copper top.
A world line you could time travel to. America in the 1990s. If you landed in 1993, congratulations. You arrived in the golden age. Walked to a Detroit street corner. Your first job might be nothing fancy. Just an auto worker. Back then, American manufacturing paid close to $13 an hour. Sounds normal, right? But the average U.S. home cost just over $100,000. Work hard for 3 years, and you could move your whole family into a detached house. No 30-year mortgage choking your life. On weekends, you could drive a Ford to a picnic, take the family to Disney. That was not a dream. That was regular life. If factory work felt too heavy, no problem. You could change jobs. Go to a big city, and companies were fighting for workers. You could become a typist or an admin assistant pretty easily. In 1993, New York or Los Angeles, that job often paid $30,000 to $40,000 a year. Enough to buy a car in 1 year. Enough for one person to carry the family bills. In 1995, a new Honda Accord cost under $14,000. And on the weekend, you could take your kid to see Jurassic Park. A movie ticket was only $4. So cheap. You might think the theater was running a charity.
Hey, I'm man enough to admit it. When I got started in life, I got my first apartment. I was 17 years old. Now, this was in the 90s, right? This was the 90s. And my first apartment was brand new. I was the first person to ever live in it. The very first one. It was on a golf course. Yeah, I like to play a little golf. And had a Olympic style swimming pool. It was really nice. It was a small apartment, but it was $400 a month. Yeah, and I can still remember explicitly, because I wrote my budget down, and every night, I'd look at it every week when I'd pay my bills. And I can remember that all I needed to make was $1,000 a month. And that would get my car payment, my insurance, that would get my rent, and I could eat on it. Yeah, and if I had $1,200 a month, I could eat good. Yeah, I remember explicitly, and I was 17 years old. There's nowhere in America where you could live with a nice car. I had a new car, with a new apartment, and food for $1,000 a month, And man, that was just over 20 years ago. What have we done to this country?
And our love grows deeper still each day. Watch you get better at this. Each moment I'm more and more convinced. We trusted love, we took the risk. We ran our own pace. We won our race, and I could never turn away. We've come so far. Stars will come true, baby. Our house is a very, very, very fine house.
In 1 out of 2 homes in America, people rely on Kenmore appliances. No other brand can outsparkle, outfluff, or outsatisfy a Kenmore. So you don't have to go far to find the best. Come over to our house. Great low prices every day. Kenmore quality. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
And if you follow them, be out tomorrow. But if we off the shun, you might as well be walking on the sun. 25 years ago, they spoke out and they broke out of recession and oppression, and together they took and they folk out with guitars around a bonfire, just singing and clapping. Man, what the hell happened? That some was spellbound, some were hellbound, some they fell down, and some got back up and fought back against the meltdown. And their kids were hippie chicks or hypocrites, because fashion is smashing the true meaning of it. So don't delay, act now, supplies are running out. Allow if you're still alive, 6 to 8 years to arrive. And if you follow them, be out tomorrow. But if we are...
How much was your first home?
$57,000.
We still have the house. We did not sell up. We kept
We're
it.
still there.
Last time we looked, it's just under $500,000 is value.
There we go. What were your occupations?
I'm a builder. I'm self-employed.
I'm a dental hygienist. Take care of people's beautiful smile. Been doing it for 42 years.
How many kids do you have?
We have 2.
What advice would you give young parents who want their kids to be financially responsible?
When my kids wanted to drive, I didn't just hand them a car and hand them the car insurance. You want to drive, you want to be an adult, you're paying for your car insurance. You pay for your gas. You take care of the car.
Do you have 2 boys?
A boy and a girl.
And she knows how to change oil in a car.
Oh, yeah. She can do that stuff just as well as he can.
And we didn't even teach her everything. She has on her own realized, well, wow, this is something I can take on.
Yeah, that confidence can't be given. You have to earn that.
You do.
Man, those 90s were a time to be alive, weren't they? I'm not gonna lie. I had a ball coming up in the 90s. So much fun. I honestly wish that I can go back and be an adult in the 90s, because it feels like as soon as we became adults, everything became expensive. See, when we talk about the middle class, we're not talking about just being wealthy. We're not talking about being rich. We're talking about the people that just want to be able to pay their bills, save a little money, go on trips, vacations. It seems like that is becoming super rare. You can't find that anywhere. So now, I got a question for you. When you look at your family, you look at your mom, you look at your dad, were they more financially stable? Because it feels like nowadays, no one, even the middle class, is falling victims.
How is everybody making ends meet in America right now? I cannot be the only person who is breaking even or who's probably even in the negative, and I make 6 figures. I make $115,000 a year. I just wrote down all of my bills and all of my expenses, and I'm basically coming out even, if nothing, and that's no emergencies or nothing like that. If there's any emergencies or anything like that, I'm coming out in the negative at 115K. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Cell phone, $190. Capital One credit card, $300. Water bill, $85. Xfinity 62, Southwest 145, gas 57, ComEd 175, student loans 225, daycare 1,000, gas for the car 75 a week, groceries 1,000 a month, rent 2,800 a month. After all those expenses I just named, that comes out to $6,339 a month. I only earn $6,600 a month after taxes. So that gives me a total of $261 remaining every month.
What do you mean stop complaining? You mean pointing out the numbers in our broken system? That back in 1980, adjusted for inflation, employee-sponsored healthcare was only $9,200, $2,500 in their money, but adjusted for inflation, $9,200, and now today in 2026, it's $27,000? It increased by 191%. College, in-state, tuition and fees for 1 year, adjusted for inflation, $2,400 back in 1980. Today, nearly $12,000 for a 400% increase. Housing, the average house was $50,000, adjusted for inflation, $202,000. It went up 100%. And our wages, do you want to guess what our wages did in the same 46 years? 30%. I don't know any other statistic. How much worse would this have to be for you to stop calling us complainers? Do you not see what a fucking ripoff this is and what a failed system or failed leadership we have had over 46 years? To allow the three most important aspects of our life to go up this much and wages not. And this doesn't include fucking daycare. This doesn't include groceries. This doesn't include gas.
A typical bag of groceries today costs 50% more than in 2020. Here's how that breaks down. Forbes estimates that a basket full of groceries, including items such as eggs, butter, and bread, was about $46.95 in 2020. However, now we estimate it to cost $73.07. Some of the items that inflated the most was a large bottle of orange juice, which used to average about $6.78, but now can be found at more than $14. A tub of coffee grounds used to be $7.75, but is now over $16. Items like eggs and ground beef have gone up more than 45%, and groceries like chicken and bread have hovered between 24 and 26% increases. Get a full breakdown at Forbes.com.
I will never understand why the price of apartments go up the longer you stay at your apartment complex. Like, why isn't there like a rewards program or like loyalty points, like why isn't there discounts for ongoing members, every other facet of life, insurance, like any other subscriptions? Like, the longer you're with someone, the price should go down. Like, I don't get it. It might be another financial reason that I'm just not thinking of at the moment, but why am I getting punished for paying my rent? Like, my reward for paying my rent for a whole year was the price going up. Congratulations. Thank you for paying your rent for a whole year. We're going to increase it. There's no incentive for staying at your apartment for more than 2 years because it's going to go up. If it goes up that first year, that second year is going to go up even more. So there's really no incentive to stay at your apartment complex after like 2 years, if you ask me. I just don't get it, man. It's probably an answer I'm just not thinking of, but somebody let me know. Why is that? Which one of you relatives let me know? Is this just for apartments? Or does it work with houses too? Somebody tell me something, man, before I go.
It feels like everything has gone up this year and I'm getting ripped off. I just dropped my dog off at the groomers and they just text me being like, your dog's having such a great time. By the way, it's going to cost you, instead of $140, it's going to cost you around $250. When I asked them about the price increase, they go, oh, she just has a lot more mats and her weight actually is a bit higher now, so it's going to cost you more money. Well, bruv, you should have told me, like, to do a jump of $100+ is a lot of money, and then tip on top. I was not planning for that. My gym just went up another like $20 and they didn't tell me. That's weird because my membership only costs around $30 a month. well, no, it's actually $10 extra more a month than I thought it was, because it just went up this year. And they forgot to tell me, and they said, oh no, we sent out an email, and I went, no, you didn't. My tax lady this year told me that I owed $1,350, but last year it cost me $700. So please explain the jump. Please let me know. And then this Saturday, I went out with my friend and I was like, we're gonna go out, we're gonna get happy hour, because you know how expensive it is to eat out and get drinks in this economy? Earl's is typically great, you know? And then we get there at like 10 p.m. We're ordering our stuff. And I'm like, wait, where is the happy hour menu? And they go, oh yeah, we're not doing that because of FIFA. Like, we're not doing happy hour because of FIFA. Because FIFA is in my city. And I just wanted to be like, y'all are trying to scam. Like, everyone is just trying to take my money. I will pay money when it's due. But why do I feel like the world is just ripping me off? Does anyone else feel this way? I'm so tired of it. I'm so done.
You know what? One thing that's really troubling me is workers. They've made more money now than 5, even 10 years ago. And yet it don't feel like it. Housing, food, gas, utilities. Do I need to go on? All of these things, and I mean all of these things, have inflated. And now it's asking the questions of, what's the point? What's the point of even having a raise, knowing that it's all going to go to bills and just paying bills? Can't save, can't do anything else. So I got a question for y'all. When was the last time you had a raise? And if you have had a raise, did it help your life out at all?
One thing our parents had correct is we do get McDonald's at home. And if I could just grasp this concept, I'd probably be rich. At minimum, no debt. Because all I do is spend money on food. That's it. That's all. All I got is a full belly, which might be worth it. But that's all I got.
Bad spending. It is literally just... Call me privileged if you want, but the world kind of went to shit when normal families stopped being able to afford vacations. Because growing up, like going to Disney or taking a beach trip just felt like a normal, like middle class thing to do. Now, Disney vacation costs more than a house. Time you pay for your flights, your hotels, your tickets, your food, your parking. And that's before your kids even ask for a new pair of Mickey ears. And everyone's like, well, you need to budget for Disney. So I started tracking all of my finances because I was like, maybe they're right. No, they're not right. It made me realize that it's not just all these big expenses and my bad spending. It is literally just life itself. Groceries cost more, insurance costs more, eating out costs more, existing costs more. And people wonder why everyone's stressed out all the time. Because we can't afford a vacation and we can barely afford to pay our bills. Let me know in the comments, do you still go on vacations? Because
I rented a Ram truck a couple weeks ago, a Ram 2500 Hemi, and man, that thing was sick. I was like, man, I should get a truck. Every time I'd fill up, and this was like a month ago when gas was way cheaper, it was like $120 to fill up. Where I'm at, gas is now over $5 a gallon. Look, trucks are sick. I would love to own a truck one day. God willing, I will. When the economy makes more sense and gas is not above $5 a gallon, sure. But right now, I'm cool with this 2015 Acura. It cost me, even with $5 a gallon, $38 to fill up. So it's just these small little things in life. And again, could I get a truck? Absolutely. Do I want to pay for a truck's maintenance and gas in this economy? No thanks.
And it's not because we're going broke, okay? You know, I thought we were going to go to Japan because somebody in the group chat didn't have money. No, we could have went to Japan. You know why we can't go to Japan? Because oil prices have shot up through the roof. And, you know, airports right now have completely lost it. They are rescheduling flights. They're charging people 8% charge fee for fuel. On top of that, already like thousands to 10,000 flights globally have been canceled because jet fuel is just too expensive and just too hard to get right now. Isn't that crazy? That is insane. The fact that thousands of people's lives are getting affected, hundreds of thousands, millions of lives are getting affected by one route by one river. Isn't that crazy? That's insane. Now, what if they were to close, what if Yemen was to close their river in the Red Sea? What do y'all think would happen then? I think it would just get a little bit worse. And this war just started. Like, it only started 2 months ago. And we're already having flights getting canceled, gas prices going up. This is looking bad. I mean, I have to put a down payment just to pay my gas. Nah, I'm playing. But on some real shit, if y'all thought you were gonna go on a flight this year, if you thought you were gonna have a summer vacation, go to your beach house, good luck walking there. Because you're probably not gonna get there without spending an arm and leg. But besides that, what do y'all think?
So I really want to take my kid to Disney World, but I need to know, how are y'all paying for it? Is it just going on the credit card? Because it's like $5,000 to go for a week. And I'm not going all the way to Orlando for 3 days, you know? Like, it's got to be at least a week. And that's, like, not including food. I mean, how are y'all going?
You know, I recently stopped going out to eat because I am super broke. I just bought a house. There's lots of things I need to afford. But the most interesting outcome, other than saving a whole bunch of money, I don't really have as many stomach aches anymore. So, yeah, it's something really interesting to think about. If you are also on this path, let me know how it's going. Are you someone who also gets chronic stomach aches and suddenly don't have them because you don't go to restaurants anymore? The most ironic part is it's just a time and convenience part for me. I love to cook. I'm convinced I can cook almost anything better than a restaurant, except like beef and broccoli. Just can't figure that one out yet. But turns out not only am I a better cook, I also just pick higher quality ingredients. So
This is 100% your look, honey baby.
So we had this crazy idea that we would give up the lifestyle we have come to know and love in a 3,500 square foot home, and that's with a fully finished and furnished basement, to move into a less than 500 square foot cabin. Say hi, girls. And you can literally see into every room from one spot in this house. There is one shared closet. Let me show you. This has got to get out of here. We're just moving some stuff out right now. This very oversized shower in a very small bathroom that we did not put here. And this is the one shared closet. And we are a 5-person family. And that door goes into the other bedroom. And what does that mean for us? It means downsizing, getting back to basics, and forcing ourselves to be cramped into a very small home. Hopefully to love each other more. Maybe. We'll see. But we will have to give up a lot. And it should be all good things if we actually follow through on this plan.
You know what? This is something that doesn't get talked about enough. The middle class, average people, we're not asking for luxury. Come on, let's think about it. They're giving up things that used to feel normal. Vacations, weekend dinners, buying a home. Even having children gets delayed because people don't even want to have kids now. People are scared. People are like, how am I going to afford this? And can you blame them? Let's be real. So, I don't know. This changes things. This changes society in a whole different way. Whenever you're afraid to have children because you are afraid of the costs, we got a bigger issue at hand.
Everything that everybody's feeling, I've been feeling for the past 8-9 months. I didn't really want to talk about the job that I used to do, but I feel like it's a big part of everything. I was in the Air Force for 7 years. I got medically retired almost a month ago, and it's just been such an adjustment, but I feel so much better not being in that environment anymore. Everything that you're seeing on TikTok right now of people saying that they cannot do it anymore, this is exactly how I felt for like the past 9 months, but for over a year. Every single day, I just felt so burnt out and I couldn't get out of bed. Add in the factor that I had a toddler and a baby, but the kids weren't the problem. It was the lifestyle. It came down to the point where I almost lost my life in a horrible car accident. And this is kind of what pushed my medical retirement. I was struggling a lot with my mental health, and the car accident was not handled well by my immediate leadership, and so it pushed me into the hole even more. That's when my therapist and my psychiatrist were like, hey, we need to get her out of here. And I'm very grateful that this happened because I was not okay. In the same way that people are starting to make videos and talking about how they can't get out of bed in the morning, they cannot keep going to a job that they hate, and they're barely making enough to pay their bills. That's how I was feeling all the time.
Guys, it is 4:55 and I am leaving work right now because I had to move my one ICU patient out, and they couldn't let me stay for 2 hours because, oh my god, everything is so expensive and that's too much money. And at the start of the shift, they put me on call for, it wasn't even up to 30 minutes because they called me to put me on call at 6:30, and then after 20 minutes, so 6:50, I got a call saying I should come in. So right now I'm just heading home because I've had enough. I'm happy I'm going home because I have drill in the next 3 hours. I have to be at drill. So this works out perfectly for me. I can go home, shower, and get me a brand new cup of coffee and go about my day. Bye.
I personally think that over the next few years, it's going to be normalized for people to have the equivalent of 2 jobs, i.e. one full-time stable job and something that they do on the side, aka a side hustle. You're already seeing a lot of people are on Vinted, and I remember seeing a meme a few months ago that said, you can tell we are in a recession when you have doctors jumping on social media. I'm seeing so many new TikTok pages, including people even trying to get into the same niche as me, finance and all of these sort of things. And I think this is a sign of where sort of medicine is. I think there's a lot of this going on amongst professionals, and the reason I say that, I think people need to do 2 jobs, aka another side hustle, or 2 sort of jobs on the side, is because wages continue to increase slower than the rate of inflation. And if you remember back in the day, or you look back into the past, you could, as a single household, have one sole earner who would be able to buy you a house, car and food. And now you need 2 partners working together to get the same thing. Now to get a house, you need to both put in a deposit together. It's impossible. What's the future going to be like? So you have to start thinking about these sort of things and model your life around it. Let me know what you lot think in the comment section.
What's really sad, the decline of society and the family unit. Because of our economy, people are stressed to the max. Both parents have to work. There's no way around it unless you are ultra wealthy or have like a large trust fund. But most people don't. So something's got to give. The women are exhausted because women really weren't meant to be working like a man and raising the kids at the same time. So when the husbands are upset or the boyfriends are upset that their wife or girlfriend is not acting like a wife or girlfriend, it's because she can't. Okay, it's really hard. You cannot do it all, and you certainly cannot do it all the right way.
Can I just express how I'm so sick of working overtime? I'm so sick of working overtime to survive. Like, 2026, I can't do this shit no more. I cannot do this shit no more. Like, I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of, I literally got paid at 6:05. It's 6:29. My whole check is gone. Like, and then had to spend money on food for the kids. So I probably got like $500. Like, and the overtime was allowing me to make ends meet, meaning pay my rent and buy my kids some food, and still had that $500. If I didn't do the overtime, I wouldn't be able to pay my rent, and still I would probably have to pay like a quarter of my rent. and survive for the next 2 weeks off of, oh, mind you, I ain't even paid the rest of my car payment yet. So
if you're ever questioning the economy and how bad it is, but yet you see people in the stores spending tons of money, the shelves are never full, people are out to the movies and dinner and doing everything, well, it's because there's a big part of the population of the USA that are doing actually really good right now. I would say about 40%, about 109 million people are doing fine. You know, they're getting by. They can go spend money. They're doing great. You know, they're holding those high-end jobs, those more coveted positions. They're doing all right. Their kids are going to great schools. They're doing great. But 60% of Americans are not doing fine. When you are out and about, you are seeing the haves and have-nots. Because those 60% of Americans, they're not going out. Those aren't the people spending buku bucks out there. And if they are, they're running up debt because they're desperate and they need things. That's the reality right now. And 60% is a fucking failing grade. So I don't want to hear this argument that the economy is doing better than ever. Sure, maybe for some. But again, we are the United States. This is why social programs matter. This is why pay matters. I just saw
food prices. Can you guys tell me how we're supposed to live in the current day and age when you make too much money to get help from the government? Food prices are so high that it takes the rest of your entire check for only a week's worth of food after you're trying to figure out which bills you're going to pay and which bills you need to push off because you can't afford to pay everything. On top of the fact you have a chronic health condition that keeps you from working pretty much once a year, and it doesn't seem to matter how many dollars my husband gets bumped up for raises, because as many times as that gets bumped up, so does society's prices. So it's like we're never catching up. I'm continuously falling behind. I seriously wish financial struggles were not even a thing, because without financial struggles, I feel like people's mentalities would be a whole lot freaking better. You don't have to worry about your utilities, or your car insurance is going to run out and you might get pulled over one day, or you don't have to worry about those things. I had to compose myself. Today has it's really not just been today, it's been probably about 2 weeks that my mentality and this guilt about recently having surgery and only just now being able to drive myself around and not relying on everybody after 4 weeks of having surgery, but still not being able to pick things up, still not being able to work, to make money to help catch up on these bills that we're behind and try to catch up on our shut-off dates.
When it comes to mental health, one thing that I can relate to is I work nights, like I was expressing before, and it gets hard. It gets hard sometimes. Not being able to get sleep when you want it. Sleep's not really part of your schedule for real. So when you do get sleep, it's like, oh, what is this? Oh, thank you. Sleep. Oh, I needed that. I didn't know I needed that. It gets hard sometimes. Family time, not so much, because I'm around family all day and I love it. That's kind of why I took nights, because I get to spend more family time. The job that I have requires very little, and I mean very little energy. So me getting my 4 or 5 hours of sleep, it doesn't really affect my job performance. So I'm able to stay up pretty much all day almost, get 4 or 5 hours, and still be able to carry out my duties on shift. That's not feasible for a lot of other people. A lot of other people, they actually have really, really, really hard jobs. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to say thank you so much for making it this far. Welcome back to season 2 of Q Reacts. We're doing it in a major way this season. Stay tuned. Keep it locked. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. It only helps the channel grow and it spreads the love. And also, like I always say, get your ducks in a row. Figure out what you need to do to take care of yourselves and do it. But hey, what am I? I'm just a simple messenger. But until next time, this is your boy Q, signing out.